My childhood trauma, my identity crisis, my fears of abandonment, or my financial struggles, they didn't qualify me for time away to heal. But it doesn't mean we don't need the same care. Hello, friends, and welcome back to The Free Advantage, brought to you by The Risky Path. I'm Heather Davis, and I want to invite you to join me each week as we explore self-discovery, authenticity, and the journey to recovering a life of freedom. This podcast is about sharing and exploring impactful experiences that we all share in a relatable and digestible way. With so much information out there, it can be overwhelming to take it all in. And here, I want to give you small bites that you can take back into your week and integrate into your daily life. Welcome back, everyone. I don't know about you, but these past few weeks have been overly demanding of my time and energy. There are things that I need to be focused on and just haven't been able to. The demands of life have left me depleted, exhausted, and overwhelmed. I have been lacking in maintaining my mindset, my spiritual fitness, as my uncle puts it, and even my self-care. What I am learning through my own process is that recovery and growth do not survive on autopilot. Once we set out on our path of recovering a life of freedom, it takes immense dedication. With the constant demands of life around every corner, staying the course is tough. I know for me, I have a lot of tasks that I do every day to maintain my mindset, my spiritual fitness, and my goals. I put a lot of focus, attention, and intention into every single day. But it is so easy for us to get snatched up by the to-dos of life. We make plans. There's things that we have to do, that we have to take care of, the things that we want to do. We have wives, husbands, kids, work, you name it. But the thing we honestly desire, our recovery, our freedom, the work that we started in ourselves, this thing, it so easily starts slipping to the wayside. It starts falling through the cracks. We may sit around and find ourselves thinking about all the things that we do to maintain our recovery, to live in freedom. And we think, man, I really need to do that, or I need to get back to that. Or maybe the excuse is just, I haven't had time. And eventually, before we know it, the work that we set out to do, the recovery, the self-growth, the freedom we wanted, is left on the side of the road, and we jump back in the car and take the old familiar path once again. We begin to find ourselves feeling irritated, frustrated, disappointed. We feel that constant urge maybe to get back on track, until slowly, over time, it stops even crossing our minds. We begin our descent back into familiarity and comfortable patterns. And then we wonder why things haven't changed. Why are they the same? Or why are they worse? The truth is, recovery is a 100% all or nothing, focused, concentrated, attention-giving process. Whether it's from addiction, life, or trauma, it takes devoted, undivided attention. We are so used to placing our lives and all the things that entails in priority over our actual life. Work becomes more important than our will to live. Pleasing others and living up to their expectations becomes more important than the truth of who we are. And eventually, we become another thing in the list of things in this world to barter, trade, and sell. We are so used to not paying attention that when we finally do, it is hard for us to understand how we got so far away from where we wanted to be. Instead of freedom, we live caged in a world that gives nothing back, and somehow we have come to defend it. I mean, geez, it's only our life, right? So yeah, it is a focused, concentrated, attention-giving process. This is why people with addictions or injuries go to rehab. The very definition of rehabilitation is the action of restoring something that has been damaged to its former condition. There's a place, that removes you from life as you know it, to bring relief, separation from all of the quote unquote priorities, so you get to give your attention to the things you need. Because recovery takes all of you. It removes you from the chaos of your normal life so you can submerge yourself in your new walk, your new path. But here's the truth. Not all of us get that kind of reset. My childhood trauma, my identity crisis, my fears of abandonment, or my financial struggles, they didn't qualify me for time away to heal. But it doesn't mean that we don't all need the same care. For most of us, rehab looks like a 1-hour therapy session once a week, if we're lucky. So it becomes our responsibility to do what we can, to reach out, to lean on a therapist, a coach, sponsor, a counselor, or a minister, or even a friend for support. Because recovering a life of freedom and walking in our authentic selves has to take priority. We have to find a new balance. The truth is, when we live for so long in a state of life that encumbers, burdens, and restrains us, we are living in a very unbalanced life and have been unable to live whole. When we step into recovery, suddenly balance becomes vital. When we finally begin to live differently, when we start the work of healing and reclaiming our freedom, we're thrown into a world where balance matters in a way that it never has before. And learning how to function in our recovery in life can be tough to navigate. Because, let's be honest, recovery doesn't erase the bills, the kids, the deadlines, or the constant demands. All of that is still there. So now we're doing this delicate balancing act, trying to stay committed to the inner work that saves our lives while still showing up to the everyday life that needs us. It is no wonder that it feels so overwhelming. It's no wonder people feel pulled in every direction. But recovery is not just another item you balance alongside everything else. It's not just one more thing to manage. Recovery is the thing that gives balance to everything else. This is why recovery can't just be squeezed in around life. It has to become the foundation for how we live. But here's the mistake we so often make. We think recovery is another thing to add to our plate. The truth is, recovery is the plate. It's the foundation everything else has to rest on. And when we overload ourselves, the first thing to fall off the edge when it isn't our foundation, it's always the recovery work. Why? Because our brains crave the path well traveled. They'll choose the familiar, the old patterns every time, unless we step in and make the choice ourselves. Maybe you have been down this very road before, or maybe you are right there right now. But it's okay. As much as this work is my life, this work is my life. I walk the same path with you, working every day to make a life of freedom my priority. The truth is that it never stops. If you're looking for a one-and-done situation, this isn't it. This is a lifelong process, but the most rewarding and joyful one you can choose. And I choose it every day. Our brains will naturally choose the path well traveled over the one not yet created. The whole building neural pathways, that's a real thing. This is where we have to make active choices instead of automated ones. It's stopping the decision process from working on its own and taking over manually. Recovery requires us to stop running on autopilot. It's choosing what is in our best interest over what our interest does best. So, if you find yourself overwhelmed by life, remember your life. You are not just another thing on your to-do list that doesn't get done. It takes focus, daily attention, and intention. And no, not every day will be perfect. It's not supposed to be. That's part of the process. But the truth is, recovery doesn't fit around your life. It is your life. It's the foundation everything else depends on. God didn't create you to be another thing that falls through the cracks when life gets busy. If He makes you His priority, maybe it's time to make you yours too. So keep choosing. Stay the course, even when it feels inconvenient, even when it feels exhausting. Because every time you make that choice, you're building freedom, step by step, day by day. The path of recovering a life of freedom takes immense dedication, and you are worth it. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today on The Free Advantage. For more tools, support, and inspiration, please visit my website, theriskypath.com. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Your voice matters, and it helps us to grow and get our message out to more people just like you. Let's continue this journey to freedom together. And remember, freedom is the advantage you already own. Until next time.